Welcome to Stark Raving Social, the podcast for comms pros who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Your host is Sherrilynne Starkie, social media strategist, industry pioneer, and trusted advisor to brands navigating the digital landscape. With decades of experience in marketing, PR, and social media, she's here to bring you the insights, strategies, and conversations you need to stay ahead of the curve. From shifting algorithms to AI-driven content, from crisis comms to culture shifts, if it's shaping the future of our industry, you'll hear about it here.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Stark Raving Social, the podcast for marketing and communications professionals who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. I'm your host, Sherrilynne Starkie. Today, we're talking about something that's affecting all of us in the PR and communications world, the shrinking Canadian media landscape. And let's be honest, it's getting pretty dire out there. The Canadian media industry has been in decline for more than a decade, but recent events are throwing that decline into sharp relief. Take TVO, for example. They just laid off journalists as part of their pivot away from written news. Then there's the Meta Canadian news link ban. By restricting the sharing of news links on Facebook and Instagram, Meta has effectively cut off a critical source of traffic and revenue for news outlets. And this is happening to an industry that was already fragile. For PR professionals, it's a real challenge. With fewer journalists to pitch to, the competition for attention is fierce. But here's the thing. Where there are challenges, there are also opportunities. We've all heard about media consolidation. It's nothing new, but it's reached a point where there are far fewer journalists and independent newsrooms in Canada. The result? Pitching opportunities are more limited, and the journalists who are left are absolutely swamped with story ideas. But here's where it gets interesting. The network effect. I'll give you an example. I pitched a story about a local cybersecurity training company to CBC Ottawa Morning. It's the top breakfast radio show in the city, and the producer loved the story. Not only did they run with it, but they pushed it national. My client ended up doing 8 live interviews across CBC Morning shows from coast to coast, including big markets like Toronto and Calgary. That kind of amplification wouldn't have been possible without the interconnected structure of CBC, and I've seen similar things happen with Post Media and Bell Media. Now, with mainstream media shrinking, who's filling the gap? Niche influencers, podcasts, blogs, TikTok and Instagram creators, and YouTubers are stepping up in a big way. And guess what? They're getting great results. Podcast consumption in Canada is rising. 38% of Canadians listen to podcasts every month. And some of those podcasters have massive followings. People like Ryan Holtz and Darian Kovacs have interview-style shows that attract huge audiences of business and marketing professionals. Locally in Ottawa, creators like Carla Salazar and Elser Mitchell are building dedicated, highly engaged communities. For brands, working with these influencers offers a unique opportunity to reach specific audiences in ways traditional media can't replicate. So, how do we navigate this new landscape? For the past decade, I've built every PR strategy on the earned, owned, shared, and paid, or EOSP, framework. This framework ensures maximum impact by balancing the strengths of each pillar to create a cohesive strategy. And here's what that looks like. Earned media is the credibility builder, media coverage you don't pay for but secure through storytelling and relationship building. It's invaluable for shaping public perception and reaching key audiences. A while back, I worked with a client who wanted to influence Winnipeg City Council policy. Through a month-long campaign generating consistent local media coverage, we successfully influenced the council's vote in our favor. Own media is where you control the narrative. It's your website, blog, podcasts, newsletters, places where you shape the story, highlight your expertise, and connect directly with audiences. One of my public sector clients wanted to lead the conversation on a transformative industry trend. We launched a 10-episode podcast series exploring the trend from various angles. That series opened up global audiences and significantly bolstered their leadership positioning. Shared media is all about engaging with your audience through social media and community building. During the pandemic, I helped a business improvement association launch a daily social media campaign encouraging people to support local businesses. That effort not only kept businesses afloat but drove measurable increases in sales. Similarly, I worked with an art gallery to publish daily content during lockdowns, sparking dialogue and strengthening relationships. And finally, there's paid media. This is the foundational pillar that amplifies everything else. Paid campaigns push earned placements, extend own content to broader audiences, and ensure shared media isn't lost in the algorithmic noise. Whether it's social media ad buys or sponsored content in key publications, paid media ensures your message gets seen by the right people at the right time. The takeaway: the tools we use might change, but our mission as PR professionals remains the same: to tell authentic stories that connect and inspire, and we need to be proactive. So, what's your experience been like navigating the shrinking Canadian media landscape? What strategies are working for you? Let me know. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with your network or leave a review. It helps others discover the show. This is Stark Raving Social, and I'm your host, Sherrilynne Starkie.
That's a wrap on this episode of Stark Raving Social. Thanks for tuning in. If you got value from today's show, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you know a fellow comms pro who could use these insights, share the podcast and help them stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Until next time, keep learning, keep adapting, and keep making an impact.